Welcome to the Paperless Notebook. Today we're going to take a look at the apps Evernote and Skitch on your iPad and learn how to keep your students digitally organized. So let's look at the objectives. First off, we're going to need to be able to use Evernote's basic functions to get their notebooks set up and organized. Also, we're going to use Skitch's basic functions in conjunction with Evernote. They work together. You can import documents into Skitch, crop them, add text, color, images. Therefore, you can create colorful maps or worksheets in Skitch and then store that in Evernote. So at the end of this training, you should be able to do all those things and hopefully feel a lot more comfortable organizing your students digitally. So let's take a look at our apps. Okay, first you'll need a couple of apps here. It would be Evernote and Skitch. They work together. Once you log in and download them from the App Store, you just need to log in with email and password, and it'll be the exact same for each. So I'm going to start by opening up Evernote first. And just a little side note, you should download both of them before trying these because they integrate together. So we'll open up Evernote here, and you can see I have my notebooks here. I also have many notes, as you can see down around the bottom here. And we're going to take a look at just some of the basic features here. You can see I'm logged in. To add a note right away, you can just click it here, and you can add a note. If you wanted to go right into your camera, you could. This third button here would also get you into the camera feature as well. So if you click the X, you can get out of that. Let's see, this might be the camera roll then. Oh, that's camera as well. So I guess you got two different cameras there. You just hit X to get out of that. And this would be just to add a note right away. So if I click that, it'll just jump right into a note. So you could start that way if you like. I'll show you just some basic features. It has a general address if you have the locator on. You might want to turn the location off if you don't want people to know where you live. And it's not 100% accurate because this is not my address. They got the street right, but that's about all they got right. So if you want to change that title, you can just tap on it and name it whatever you want. I'm just going to use some question marks here, or some periods rather. And then the body of the text, if you tap anywhere in there, it'll allow you to edit the body of the text. There are some different features here for bold, if you want bold, italics, if you want underline, if you want to strike through, exclamation point. Let's test that. I don't use that very often. I guess it highlights it. And if you hit that off, it will no longer highlight it. Oops, excuse me. This arrow, okay, allows you to add a link in there if you choose to. Some other features, if I hit return here, I'll go down a couple times. This little paragraph will allow you to change your font size. So if I want really big writing, I can do this section. And now when I write, I have gigantic text. If I switch down to subsection, there's a little smaller paragraph, block quote, etc. Okay, so those are some options there. The formatting, you can change that. We'll hit enter again. This next feature here is really nice if you're making a checklist. If I tap that, okay, those are little checklist boxes. If I hit return, they just keep going. You can tap them to check off things on your list as you make them. Some other items that I like to show you, bullet point lists. So if you tap this button right here, you can start a list of bullet points. And every time you hit return, it'll start a new bullet. You can number things. Okay. If I tap this next button here, is to number it. And you can see it'll keep on going. You could tab in and tab out with these keys. So if I hit the right arrow, it'll tab me in. You could tab back with the left arrow. And if you want to undo things, these are the undo and redo buttons. So I could undo all that if I want, or redo. Okay, if you'd like to add in a picture, we'll see here. I'll take a picture of a document in a moment. Well, we'll use the camera feature here. Keep it sideways. Take a picture of this little crab. There you go. So take a picture of it. Once you're good with that, you hit the blue check in the corner. If you don't like the picture, you hit the X. And there it is. It's sideways, and that's a good thing to see here. So let's redo that. Why is it sideways? It's because my iPad didn't adjust. So if I want to delete it, I could just tap next to it and tap next to it and hit delete. Now it's gone. Okay, so let's try to retake that. I have to make sure my camera is the right way. So let's see. There we go. Now it should be vertical. Okay, hit the X. Now it's vertical. Okay, so that's how you add in a picture if you'd like. You could also go into your camera roll. So that this would be to take a picture. This other icon would be your camera roll. So if you hit that, I can access anything on my camera roll. If I want to look at this picture of the board that I took earlier today, I could do that. Now I have my web address that I took a snapshot of. Okay, so that's how to add pictures. If I wanted to delete, I would hit the trash can to delete the item. If I want to record my voice, I could do that by tapping the microphone, and I would add a voice note. As you can see now, the voice bar is going. When I'm finished, I could hit done, and that would go into my note as well. So there's my recording of my voice. And then you could hit the info button, and you could change notebooks. I'll show you how to create notebooks next. But if I tap on this, you can see all my many notebooks, and if I want to put it in the after school program notebook, I could just tap on that, my first day's notebook, and I'll put it there. Okay. You could also tag. Okay, so by tagging, if I hit the info button again, tags are a way to find specific things within your folders. So with this tag, I don't like any of my tags here. It's not work, it's not a website. I'm just going to tag this as training. Okay, and hit done. I'll also just hit that plus to add training to my tags, and I will go back. Okay, and now I can see it's in my first day's notebook, and it's tagged under training. I could get a URL for it if I would choose to, but I'm not going to do that right now. And you can see when I created it and the location here in Rock Hill. So I'm going to close out of that. Those are the basic general functions of Evernote. Okay, and I closed out of that. The next thing to look at is to create notebooks. Okay, so you can see my notebooks here. If I wanted to create a new notebook, I would hit that plus area, and I would name my notebook. Okay, and just hit done, and then I will have a new notebook. If I go down, I name that notes, and you can see notes is right here. Now I saved my previous note where I took pictures and stuff in the first days folder, so we'll see if it's in there. Okay, tap on the first days folder, and it should be right here. Here's my note, and there it is. Okay, I'll close out of that. So it's a great way for students to be digitally organized. Even if they do something on a piece of paper, they could take a snapshot of it and save it digitally in case, their locker eats it, which it often usually happens. So next, let me hit back on the notebooks. If you click this elephant icon in the corner, it'll take you back. If you want to edit your notebooks, you can tap up here to edit them. And if you tap on other notebooks, you could delete them or change the name. But I don't want to do that right now, so I'm just going to hit done. You could also share them in a variety of ways if you hit that little action button in the corner. Okay, and it is loading. You can create a public link and post it on Edmodo or another website, so you could share that folder with students, or put it on Twitter, or you can go and share it with specific individuals if you have their information, like their email address and things like that, and give them special permission to view the notes and so on. You can add them up here and invite them. You write a little message. Okay, so that's notebooks. And last but not least, we'll look at tags in places. So you can see all my tags. I can just do a quick reference. I tag that last note under training. As you can see, I don't use tagging a lot. I just organize myself by notebooks. But there's the training. If I tap right there on training, I could find my note that way as well. Okay, and I'll hit the elephant to go back to the home screen. You can view recent notes this way. And last is places. And you can see where I've tagged things from. And again, this is an option that you can turn off if you choose to. I will show you what Skitch can do. So within your notes, you can see this colorful map here. I created this in Skitch and put it into Evernote. So I'll show you how that looks. So any item, if you wanted to use Skitch and make a map like that, you could also, I'll tap on this one, edit worksheets if you want. I took a screenshot of a picture of a student's worksheet, and you could add different things into it. Like I couldn't read that, it says predictable. I made a little arrow there. Barley was missing, so I added barley on there, and so on. If you wanted to edit this, if you can hit like edit with Skitch and it will edit, and I'll show you how that kind of works there on the original note that I took. Okay, if I tap on that image, this little heart down at the bottom will allow me to change this image, and I could edit the image in Skitch, or I could create a brand new Skitch note, but I'll edit this image of a little stuffed animal. Alright, so a couple things you can do. You could do an arrow. You can see I tap this arrow, and if I tap on the screen, I could say point to the eyeball, and you can, once you tap on it, you could rearrange it, you could stretch it out. Okay, and then once it's on there, you can move it. And if you ever want to delete it, you can just tap on it and hit the delete button down here. But I'm going to leave that for now. So I tapped off the screen, or on the screen again, and you can see now the arrow's there. When you're in Skitch also, if you use two fingers, I can move the image around. Again, with two fingers, you could pinch and zoom. And that'll help. If you need to do something more detailed, you can really zoom in on it. Now I will add some text. I will label that I. So if I tap on the A, and I want to put the text right about up here, so I'll tap there, and I'll write I. Okay, and I could tap away from that. So there's my I. If I want to move it, I could tap on it and move it anywhere around the screen if I want. The gray circle in the corner will allow me to make that bigger if I choose to, and then I could slide it up that way. The little blue button here will allow me to change the text to black and white. Some other things you can do with Skitch. Besides the text, you can add shapes. So there's a shape there. You can add a number of different shapes, whether it's a square, circle, and so on. So I'll choose the circle, we'll say, and I will tap on the eye. If I tap back on, oops, I can hit undo. See, I made two circles there. I want to undo that, so you can just hit undo. And let me tap on that eye, and I could, on that circle, I can make it bigger. Okay, once I could change the color if I want. So if I tap on the red on the bottom, the color palette will come up, and we will make this, we'll say black. Okay, and then I could tap off of that if I want. Tap away from the screen, and I have the eye circled. There's a blur feature on here too down at the bottom. So if I want to make the eye blurry, I could select that and kind of start tapping on it, and you can see it'll get pixelated. If you tap once, it's small. If you drag it out, it'll pixelate it. So I'll undo that a couple times. Okay, or I can hit redo at the top. Next is to crop. So if I hit the crop button down here, it will allow me to cut that picture down. Oops. See, I kind of cut eye off a little bit. I'll undo that. Let me recrop it a little higher if I can. I'll just cover it. Oops. Hit crop again. There we go. And that should do it. Now it's cropped, and you can just see the picture of the eye. The last thing are these tags over here. If I tap that, there's a variety of them. So I'll just use this red X. You could do that. This won't allow you to change the color on these, but you have different ones. As you can see that you could add in there. When you're finished, you can just save to Evernote. Okay, and if I tap on that, I'll hit done, and now it has been changed. So again, that's kind of an odd thing to show you a stuffed animal, but that's what I had around. The examples I have, right, here's the map I kind of worked on. I just got an outline map from the internet and put it onto my iPad, and then use Sketch to label it. Another one I could show you is just a general worksheet. See, I'll go into my Sketch folder and show you that one. Where's notebooks? Here's Sketch. Okay, this is a general worksheet, so again, going paperless. Okay, I can hit edit with Sketch, which is up here. And now that that's changed, like if I want to make that red T blend in with the rest, I can do that. If I wanted to add, say, oh, this is letter J, I can hit the text button, tap on the screen somewhere, add a J, and then move that J somewhere where I think, say it's number 8. I don't know if it is or not, but tap away, and again, completely paperless. You could add things to worksheets. You can create maps. As you can see, when I'm done, I can save it. Up here, I could also hit the action button, create a link to that. So if you want a student to turn that into you through Edmodo or something like that, they could send you the link to their papers. Okay. Next, I just want to show you how to add files into Evernote. A couple ways. One, I'll hit my email here and hit cancel. We'll say I'll tap on this email here from Chris that has an attachment to it. Okay, and if you want to get this Word document from your iPad email to your Evernote account, just tap on the document, open it up, and you want to hit the action button in the corner, and then you can do open in Evernote. So we'll hit that. Okay, now it's in there, and you just want to put in an appropriate file. So I will tap the information button, and I will put it in my school file because it relates to school for me. And it's an MYP wall template. It has to do with IB stuff. So I will create a new tag for IB. I don't think I have one in there. I'll just say IB, tag that, hit plus. Now it's in there, and close it out. Okay, so that's how you can quickly add stuff to your notes and organize them. If you get an important email, create a folder for it, and you could access it anytime, anywhere. You can log into Evernote.com, type in your username and password from your laptop or anybody's computer. You can access all your notes anytime, anywhere, as long as there's internet access, which is awesome. Awesome for both yourself and for students. If they can't take their iPad home, they can log into Evernote from a home computer or cell phone. Okay, so we looked at the basics of Evernote, how to create notes and folders, add pictures, record voices, add files, and organize and tag our notes. And also we took a look at Sketch and how to create different things like colored maps, how to edit worksheets, and add different symbols like arrows and text to our images. That is the Paperless Notebook, and I hope you learned a lot and enjoyed the presentation.